In this lesson, we're going to take a look at concentration. Now, concentration has units that are similar to density but are very different because, remember, density was the amount of matter in a given amount of space. So if we had a substance like a block and it was made up of some kind of matter, that matter is made of tiny little particles called atoms, and how tightly packed those were in there was what we call density. So density was equal to mass divided by volume, but this was the mass of the object divided by the volume of that same object. And it got us units of grams per cubic centimeter. Now, when we look at concentration, concentration is different. Concentration is the amount of matter in grams dissolved in a volume of solvent. Okay, now this is generally a liquid. We usually use water, but there's other things that can be there. And this is measured in cubic centimeters or milliliters. Now that means I have one type of matter for what's being dissolved and a second type of matter for what's doing the dissolving. So now I have grams per cubic centimeter, but it's not describing how much matter is in a given amount of space. It's telling me how much stuff is dissolved in a liquid. So if you've ever made like Kool-Aid or something, you know you can fill up your pitcher with water, and then you dump in some sugar and some Kool-Aid and you stir that around. And if you dump in more sugar, it gets sweeter. We've changed the concentration of sugar in there. So concentration is given by mass solute. That's the stuff that we're putting in there. In this example, that would be the sugar divided by the volume of liquid. Okay? And generally that's water, but we'll use some other things like alcohol as well. So we have two different things going on there. And to make it clear that we're talking about concentration rather than density, a lot of times we'll give concentration as grams per 100 cubic centimeters. Now that means we're going to have to do a little bit of math, because let's say I take and I dissolve 5 grams of sugar in, say, 20 grams or 20 cubic centimeters of water. And I want to know its concentration. Well, if I just do that math, 5 divided by 20, that's 1 over 4, or 0.25 grams per cubic centimeter. But I want that per 100 cubic centimeters, right? So 0.25 grams per cubic centimeter. If I want it per 100, then I'm just going to go ahead and multiply it by 100. And so what I get from that is 25 grams per 100 cubic centimeters. Okay? Now, if I wanted that in any other volume besides 100, I would take whatever I had for 1 gram per cubic centimeter, or grams per 1 cubic centimeter, and multiply it by however many cubic centimeters I wanted. So if I wanted 100 cubic centimeters, multiply by 100. If I wanted 10, I would just multiply by 10, and I'd get 2.5 grams per 10 cubic centimeters. Now, the bigger this number on top is, the more concentrated the solution is, or the more solute, the more stuff is actually dissolved into the mixture.